Peace, family, peace. I hope all is well. Hope your Friday, Friday is going well. Hope you're enjoying your day. Hope you got up this morning. You broke a sweat. You worked out. I took Mansa to soccer practice. He's bending it like Beckham. Messi, all that good stuff. So, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Also, make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Also, tours, tours. Sierra Leone, we are rolling to Sierra Leone. Again, we are rolling to Sierra Leone coming up shortly. We will be in Sierra Leone if you like to roll. We'll leave, man, listen, we'll leave in 9 days. Yeah, we had to Sierra Leone in 9 days. Again, we are going to Sierra Leone in 9 days. I got one more spot. So if you like to roll, if you like to join us, make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Again, go to dynastymir.com, or even better, go to Donfo, DANFO, Donfo.Africa. Again, go to Donfo.Africa. That's DANFO.Africa. And it's not donfo.africa.com. It's just donfo.africa. Again, donfo.africa. Okay. So, I said it real slowly for you guys. Donfo.africa. And also, we're rolling to Nigeria in August 11th through the 20th. Again, August 11th through the 20th. We are rolling to Nigeria. Again, we're rolling to Nigeria for the Osun Festival. So if you want to come to Osun Festival, go to donfo.africa. Then we have Senegal in October, back to Sierra Leone, end of November, early December. And then we're doing the Voodoo Festival, in January. So that would be January 3rd to the 12th for the Voodoo Festival in January. So if you're interested in joining, hit me up. Also, we do tours, bespoke tours. So if you can't join one of the group tours, but you still want to, go to Africa and have a good time, we can help facilitate that. So, make sure you go to donfo.africa. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. With that being said, I'm reading the comments. We're going to jump into it right now. Guys, I need your opinion on something. So I am starting my own real estate company on the continent. Okay. I'm starting my own real estate company on the continent. And I want your feedback on different names. Okay. So we're going to start off with that. I need you guys' feedback. Shout out to Ms. Bullard. Shout out to That Good Guy. Shout out to Caesar Music. I don't believe foreigners should be able to own land anywhere, especially in Africa. I mean, though, so they just passed that, or I think right now, because of what's going on in Canada, I think I'll get into the article here shortly. Devin Grace, what's up, Devin? I'll get into the article here shortly, but they're passing some type of rule or law or measure where foreigners can no longer right now buy land in Canada. So I know a lot of my Nigerian family, they were, if they couldn't get into Africa, I'm sorry, I'm tripping. If they couldn't get into America, right? Canada had some type of visa that will make it, because they need more skilled workers in Canada. So I guess the rules are a little more easier to migrate into Canada versus America. So I know a lot of Nigerians are trying to get into Canada. So with that being said, thank you, Ms. Bullard. Very proud of you, Diners. Thank you. With that being said, it was easier to get into Canada, but they're making it harder to own land now in Canada if you are a foreigner. But I mean, the majority of these countries, if you're a foreigner, you can't own land. You could long-term lease land, but you can't own land in a lot of these countries. In a lot of these countries, you can't. If you're a foreigner, you can't own land. because the Chinese are buying up everything. Yeah, they're buying up everything here in America too. They're buying up everything worldwide. So, so that does make sense. That does make sense. So yeah. So if you're headed to Canada, unfortunately, for right now, I guess temporarily, I don't know if it's permanently, you can't on land. That's what it is. We'll get into the article here in a second. But as far as the real estate company, now I'm starting on a continent, my own. I'm having troubles with names. So I got some names. I love to get your guys' feedback. Hit the like button as you come to the chat room. Then we'll jump into the show. Again, hit the like button as you come to the chat room. Then we will jump into the show. But I would like your guys' feedback. Again, I would like your guys' feedback for the name of the real estate company. So there are a couple of names. Okay, so first one, Mansa Ade. Okay, so Mansa Ade, Mansa, my son's name. Ade, short for Adewale, Adewale, which is my middle name. So Mansa Ade. Again, Mansa Ade. So that's number one. Number two was going to be Man Yisi. Man Yisi. All right, what's that mean? Mansa and Kabiyisi. Mansa means king, Kabiyisi means chief. In Yoruba, kind of merge it to one. Okay. And then Hollis Amir. Hollis Amir. So, you know, I can't, Mansa's gone. I can't do just Mansa. Mansa's gone. So the next one is I tried Hollis Amir. So Hollis, used to be my last name, was my father's last name, and then Amir, my last name. So, to kind of keep that legacy going, Hollis Amir. And then my son, Mansa, he has Hollis as his middle name as well. So those were the two. Those were the two. Yeah, single word business names are easier to remember. Yeah, see, I'm trying to figure out a single name. I couldn't figure out one. I can't figure out one. And I've been writing and brainstorming. I wrote some stuff down that I'm looking at right now. So I've been writing and brainstorming, and I can't I can't yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying. I can't find a single name that I would like. Like I'm going through my notes now. I'm going through my notes now. I just I just can't I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything, y'all. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find nothing. Yeah, I can't find nothing, man. Like I said, I tried to find just like a one word, and I'm going through the notes now. I can't find like one word. Like I wanted to do just Mansa, Amir Ra real estate. Nah, ain't no Amir Ra. No Amir Ra. Dynast real estate. But see, I would want the site just to be like, see, I just wanted to use. Okay, so if you said okay, if you said hold on, J Matt Green. So with that being said, okay, J Matt, okay, I'm reading your suggestion now. So the Manisi. Hmm. How do you guys feel about Manisi? How you guys feel about that? Yeah, Hollis means holy tree in Old English. No, actually, J-Ma, I think Hollis might be a Spanish word. I think it's Spanish. I think it's Spanish. I think Hollis is actually Spanish. J Matt Green. I think it's actually Spanish. The word Hollis. From what I've researched, I could be wrong. I don't know. For the longest, I never knew what my name meant. Like Albert Hollis, I had no clue what that meant, and still don't. But I started. I'm sorry, but I started to research at least the last name Hollis, and I think Hollis is a Spanish word, a Spanish name, but it might be English. I don't know. But for the longest, I was when I grew up, I had no clue what my names meant. I just knew my name was Albert Horton Hollis the second. That's that was my name, Albert Horton Hollis the second. I didn't know the actual meaning behind it, and a lot of you guys just don't know the meaning behind your names. There's a football player. His name is Dakotas. Hold on one second. Dakotas. I think his name was Dakotas. Dakotas Crawford. Here we go. Dakotas. Going to LSU now. Hold on. Here's the brother right here. Here we go. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. Where's the picture at? Hold on one second, guys. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me go back. His name is Dakotas Crawford. He just committed to LSU. Shout out to the brother. Oh, he's at Nebraska now. Oh, he's at Nebraska now. He signed to Nebraska. Oh, he signed to Nebraska. That's crazy. I thought he was going to LSU. So here he goes right here, guys. Dakotas Crawford. Hold on one second. Let me share the screen real quick. So he's going to Nebraska. I swore I thought he was going to. Hold on one second. I swore I thought he was going to LSU, but I think he committed, but he ended up signing with Nebraska. So the brother's name is Dakotas Crawford. I love it. I absolutely love it. He's Dakotas. I mean, he has meaning behind his name, and it's self-explanatory. His name is self-explanatory. I love it. Yeah, I have no clue why he chose Nebraska over LSU, but hey, it's his choice. The same way people had no clue why I chose Georgia over oh, shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Hold on, O'Shea. Let me in fact, O'Shea, I need you to buy me another pair of sandals, O'Shea. Oh, in fact, my I got some sandals over here, O'Shea. I appreciate it. But everyone, we want to thank O'Shea for the donation to the African Sandals Fund. So I will be buying a new pair of sandals thanks to O'Shea. So O'Shea, we appreciate you, brother, uh, for contributing to the Sandal Fund, brother. You are awesome. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know why he went to Nebraska over LSU either. But hey, you know what? You know what? The brother's going to college on a full ride. He's gonna be the coldest. And like I said, his name has meaning. Some people was hating on his name, but you know what? The brother's name has meaning. All right, he was number 868 receiver nationwide. Let's check out his highlights. Yeah, I know we're a little off topic, but you know, let's since we're talking about names, let's check out his highlights. See what was he doing out there. The coldest Crawford. So shout out to the coldest, y'all. Shout out to the coldest Crawford out there. Hopefully that brother has a great long, well not long. Hopefully he's three and out. You know if he wants to. Uh, hopefully that brother has a great productive career at University of Nebraska. I actually took one of my official visits. I took to the University of Nebraska back in 1999. In 1999, Nebraska had the best facilities in all of college football, but I just couldn't go because it was too cold. It was too cold, so I could not. I could not go. And then the closest major city was Omaha, and Omaha is just it was nothing really in Omaha, so I wasn't excited about Nebraska, but I definitely had a great time though on my recruiting visit. I had a great time on my Nebraska recruiting visit. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat room, guys. Make sure you hit that like button again, please. Pretty please. Please hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button. Do that for me. Hit that like button. And we're going to jump into it real quick. So, foreigners land in Canada. So my Nigerian brothers and sisters who are going to Canada to live the Canadian dream. I am sorry, it's not going to happen for right now. It's going to be on hold, the Canadian dream. All right, it's going to be on hold for a couple years, the Canadian dream. So that means you can just buy more land in Nigeria. Canada to ban foreigners from purchasing homes for 2 years as real estate market soars. As prices for homes in Canada surge, the country is reportedly undertaking several efforts to ease the pain of inflation for its citizens. One effort banned for most foreigners from buying homes. Ooh. Bloomberg reports a source familiar with the proposed ban told the publication the foreign buyer ban will keep most foreigners from purchasing homes for 2 years. The source also says Canada will provide billions of dollars to encourage real estate construction in an apparent attempt to lull an ever most costly real estate market. Canadian home prices have increased by more than 50% over the last 2 years, Bloomberg says. That's about what's going on here in America. Wow. Reportedly, the benchmark price for a Canadian home in February was $869,300 Canadian dollars, which is about $639,000 in American dollars. Goodness. Most foreigners will be banned from purchasing single residential units, apartments, and condos, according to CTV News. But even if they're banned, how's that going to help the normal Canadian? Because I know $639,000 for a home, that's a lot. The objective is to keep houses in Canada for Canadians. CTV News reports a Canadian government official saying, reportedly, foreign students, foreign workers, and foreigners who are permanent residents of Canada are excluded from the ban. Okay. So I'm confused. Like, what kind? Okay, so I'm kind of confused now. Like, this is what I'm confused about. So how is this really a ban against foreigners? Like, if you're not a student, if you're not a worker, and if you're not a permanent resident, like, what kind of foreigner are you? Outside of getting a visa to go being a tourist. Like I'm lost now. Because I would think, like, for Nigerians, the majority of them are going to be students and workers. Yeah, I don't. Okay, maybe. Okay, here we go. So I guess you're an investor. Okay, I'm sorry. If you're an investor, if you're a foreign investor, you can't buy land. Okay, I got it. My bad, y'all. I got it. Investors, right? Because you have a lot of investors who are foreigners who are just buying up real estate. Got it. Never mind. According to Bloomberg, the ban indicates Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is becoming more assertive in regards to taming Canada's housing market, which the publication calls one of the developed world's most expensive. However, some are reportedly already not optimistic regarding the ban. I don't think prices are going to fall as a result. They're not. Prices aren't going to fall as a result of this ban. Though I do think it takes away at least some of the competition in what is the most competitive market in Canadian housing history, founder of real estate investment firm REC Canada, Simeon Papilius, tells Bloomberg, I don't think a 2-year ban-aid is going to have an impact on what's a fundamental lack of supply. I agree. I completely agree. Y'all. I agree. He has a point. I don't think it's going to have a major effect on it. I still think somebody said international real estate firms have ruined Miami housing prices. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because basically what people are doing, like, they're putting their weak, I would say, currency into an asset like American real estate, which is going to appreciate, which is smart. So your Chinese yuan, hell, your Russian ruble, you put in an asset like American real estate, and it's going to appreciate. But now you don't even have to do that. You can just put it in Bitcoin. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. You can put it in Bitcoin. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. And that's a digital asset. without the upkeep, like having real estate, or without the tax burden of having real estate, you know. So, and then also too, it's not just foreigners, it's also Miss Buller, you love Bitcoin? Hold on, I'm gonna give you my Bitcoin address. Hold on one second. Let me find my Bitcoin address. Since you love Bitcoin, hold on one second. Send me some Bitcoin, Miss Bullard. Hold on one second. Since you love Bitcoin, here, send me some Bitcoin. Hold on, y'all. Send me some Bitcoin. Hold on one second. Since you love Bitcoin, you should have never told me that. Hold on one second. You should have never told me that. Hold on one second. Send me some Bitcoin. Yeah, 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 yeah. Send me some Bitcoin. You love Bitcoin? Send me some Bitcoin. Hold on one second. Hold on. I'm gonna put my Bitcoin address in the. Hold on. Where's my Bitcoin address? Hold on one second. Hold on. We about to get it cracking. It's probably in here in the spam. Hold on. Here we go. Yes. The movie Sonic we watched. Uh-huh. The second one is out right now on the TV. It's on TV? Yeah. Okay, go ahead and watch it. No, you need to sign up on Prime Video. Okay. We'll watch it, okay? Okay. Hold on. Here we go. That's my Bitcoin address. Go ahead and send me some Bitcoin. How you love Bitcoin? And see how she doing me? Selling me a rib. I love Bitcoin, but I ain't got a Bitcoin address. That's my Bitcoin address. Is in the chat room. Send me some Bitcoin. But anyways, y'all, let's go to the next topic. She acting brand new now. She acting brand new now. Now she ain't got no Bitcoin wallet. But that's my Bitcoin address in the chat room. So what's next, y'all? What is next? Oh, Namibia. Namibia. Namibia Central Bank plans to introduce digital currency. Windhoek. Guys, I should be in Namibia in October. I should be coming to South Africa and Namibia in October. So um, if you're in South Africa, Namibia, hit me hit me up. Let's get up. Let's link up. Namibia Central Bank has announced intentions to launch its central bank digital currency following a release of the bank's fintech regulatory framework amid the global rise and increasing adoption of cryptocurrencies. We cannot ignore CBDC. It's a reality out there. And for that reason, the Bank of Namibia has started researching CBDCs. And very soon we'll go out with consultations, it said, adding that a consultation paper is nearing completion in order to elicit feedback from interested parties. The number and value of cryptocurrencies have surged, raising the possibility of a financial world operating outside the control of governments and central banks. There is thus a need for central banks to have a clear digital currency agenda to reinforce central bank authority over money and maintain control over the payment system. Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Gowaksom said at a question and answer session in Windhoek on Wednesday. The proposed digital agenda could be crafted through consultation with governments, commercial banks, and the public. The potential objectives advanced by these stakeholders will be many and varied, but not necessarily compatible and the design of a digital currency will have to involve trade-offs, notably between privacy and identity-based services and between centralized versus distributed control, he added. According to Gawaksav, CBDCs do have financial stability implications through disintermediation, okay, of commercial banks and potentially are a threat to monetary sovereignty. As policymakers, we need to ensure these concerns are addressed, but that we have a financial system that is stable and sound, which fosters innovation and promotes completion and trust, he said. All right, so there we go. There we go. Silverhawk, CBDC equals slavery. How? 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 How is it slavery? How is it slavery? Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to. Link is in the chat room. If you'd like to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to. Now, I remember me and Fitzgerald, we were talking about this a while back. So I think the issue, the issue with the CBDC, like, so if I have cash, okay, here we go. If they release a CBDC, will it replace cash? Meaning, will they stop issuing cash or paper dollars if they have a CBDC? That's my stream no work. What you mean my stream no work? No, that's your no. Hold on, Trapland. That's your Getro Obama phone that doesn't work. That's you, Trapland. Your Getro Obama phone. Getro PCS don't work. But this link works for everybody else. It just don't work for you. Again, it just don't work for you. So if you want to call in, it works. Can you discuss the feminist and LGBTQ agenda moving in on Nigeria? They just passed a law enforcing 35% of government to be female. Not to mention they want white men married to Nigerian women to become automatic citizens. I read about the white men part. Now, who's pushing this? Who's pushing this? See, right, you got to find out who's behind this. But I heard about the so right now, guys, in Nigeria, if you are a man and if you marry a Nigerian woman, that doesn't mean you're granted citizenship. But if you're a woman, a foreign woman, so I'm sorry, if you're a foreigner, a foreign man, and if you marry a Nigerian woman, that doesn't guarantee you're not eligible for citizenship. But if you are a foreign woman and you marry a Nigerian man, you're eligible for you're granted citizenship. So they're trying to pass it where or there's some bill or something was introduced where men who marry Nigerian women will be eligible for citizenship. And then they just passed a law enforcing 35% of government to be female. Listen, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I just like how would that work? Like, how does that work? Like 35% to be female. Like, I mean, how would that look like? So it's like their own form of Title IX, but for government. Like I don't understand how that would work. Or I like I said, I heard rumors about the other one, the foreign men when they marry Nigerian women, they can get citizenship. I read about that. Like I said, I read about that, but as far as the other one, like I said, I read about that, but as far as the 35% one, I don't know. Yeah, it's fake news. Yeah, I didn't hear about that one. And even I think the one about the foreign men can now be granted citizenship if they marry Nigerian women. That might be fake news too. Yeah, so Mo Williams, that's what I was about to get into. So, will digital currency will it replace the dollar? Right? And the problem is, like Mo was saying in the chat room, if so, I haven't downloaded the app, but like they have the eNaira app. I still haven't downloaded it. So if they get rid of paper dollars, right? And you just have the CBDC, did I say it right? CBDC, central bank digital coin. If you have that through an app, at any moment the government could just shut you out like that if you don't have access to cash. At any moment, the government could just shut you down just like that. Hey, thank you. Hey, y'all, shout out to Miss Bullard for the super chat 521. I don't know what that means. What does 521 stand for? That's the number 8. What's that mean? Like, what's that signify, Miss Bullard? When y'all send me super chats and code, what's that mean? But like I said, if they get rid of paper money and there's no paper money and everything is done electronically through the CBDC, they shut you down. They can just shut you down immediately. So you're right. You have to be very careful, but that's where Bitcoin comes in. They can't shut down your Bitcoin. They can't shut down your Ethereum. They can't shut it down. So that's where Bitcoin comes in. Hey Mo, you gotta call in, man. I mean, guys, a lot of you guys post some interesting comments in the chat room, but you don't call in. Like you gotta, like Mo, just call in. Let's talk about it, Mo. Call in. And guys, hit the like button. Again, please hit the like button. But Mo, go ahead and call in. And why are central banks buying gold? Well, Russia and China bought a lot of gold. Yeah, but you're right. They can just shut down your debit and credit cards and bank accounts. But if you got cash under your mattress, you good. If you have cash under your mattress, you good. And there's ways to get around that. You can get a prepaid debit card, like a green dot card that they sell at Walmart. If you got cash, if you got checks, you go cash your check somewhere, load up your prepaid debit card, and you good to go. But I know it's inconvenient. But I know a lot of people living that life. All they got is prepaid debit cards. They get paid, they check or whatever, cash it, go upload that, go to Walmart or go somewhere, and put that cash on their green that card. And right, they do got crypto ATMs. Intelligent women who don't use skin bleaching and actually love their own people should be running for government positions. 95% men and politicians are puppets in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. But don't you guys notice that stuff like agendas like this isn't pushed anywhere else? Like they'll push this feminist agenda hard in Africa, but they won't push it in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. They won't push it in China. What kind of statue, Joshua? What kind of statue? They don't push it in China. They won't push it in the Middle East. They won't push it in Russia. Because if you go to like Russia, China, and the Middle East, it's 100% men, damn near, in these government positions. But for some reason, they like to mess with Africa. For some reason, they like to mess with Africa. Also, guys, listen. Listen, y'all. Nigeria election is coming up soon. I will be voting. I will be participating in the Nigerian election next year and Sierra Leone election. I will be voting. And I'm telling you guys right now, a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me, okay? A lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. Mo, they can't control Bitcoin either. And I got my little, yeah, they can't control Bitcoin either. A lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. This next Nigerian election in 2023, I'm telling you right now, will be the most important election in the history of the black race. This next election in Nigeria in 2023 will be the most important election in the entire black race. If Nigeria does not get it together soon, the black race is in trouble. Barring any last-minute change, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo will declare his presidential ambition soon. I think he's going to run. And, you know, I like him. I like Peter Obi. At NAM, I like Peter Obi. I like him and Peter Obi. I don't know too much about the other candidates. One candidate that, you know, a friend of mine put me onto, was going to introduce me to. He's no longer running, and he's putting his support behind Peter Obi. I like Peter Obi, man. I like him. And like I said, I like Peter Obi, and I like Osinbajo. I like Peter Obi, and I like Osinbajo. Well, and now, why don't you like Peter Obi? What's wrong with Peter Obi? Why don't you like Peter Obi? I like Peter Obi. 521 is a random number, but you're still my favorite. Thank you, Miss Buller. Thank you for the love, sister. Silverhawk, I'm running for the president of Nigeria. Peter Obi is an errand boy for Atiku. Well, Peter Obi didn't run for vice. He was going to be Atiku's vice president. That's right. But I mean, people, you get okay. So a lot of people complain about Buhari, and Osinbajo is Buhari's VP. Like I said, I like Peter Obi. I like Osinbajo. I like them both. Oh, gas them up. Here we go. Gas them up.
Hey, what's going on, Dennis?
Educate me, Peter Obi or Osinbajo. Go ahead.
I can't do any of that. I don't. You know me. I'm anti-state. I think the Nigerian elections are whoever is not going to rock the boat. Whoever's going to do kind of like what Two Niger was talking about, create the most stability for the continued the same old to continue. I mean, we really, no African leader is held accountable by the actual people, unfortunately. and they wouldn't put themselves accountable to the people. I just read an article about Bambara culture that was written in the 1950s. I'll send it to you. They went to the village and they were analyzing dynamics, and they were like, something that was said was very interesting. It said that power was, even though it was held by the village chief or the elders, they don't own power. They were just custodians or managers of power. And, at the end of the day, they still have to serve the larger purpose of the group. African leaders don't think like that. They don't give a damn about the group, So, I mean, we'll see it. You know what I'm saying? We'll see who comes up. If Osinbajo gets there, I doubt it. I don't think he has the, but they might put him in there as a puppet, but I don't think he has the cojones, for the lack of a better term, to push things the way he needs to push them. Peter Obi, who knows,
So,
What you said?
So how do you feel about what's his name? The guy that was
Shawara?
arrested. Sawari, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's not a bad person. I think he means well, but on one hand, you're fighting. I sent you the link. If you ever did you read that document that they gave the British gave Nigeria? Did you ever read it?
Right. But Sawari, per him, he's gonna revolution now. He's gonna.
Yeah, it sounds great, but you got to play politics if you're trying to deal with the Nigerian state. They're not going to let that dude in there. Like, even the Nigerians themselves aren't going to vote for him. There's a video he was walking through the markets, and he's talking to the market woman or the market people, and they were like, "Oh, we need money now, guy." And he's like, "No, no money, no money." And I'm like, "Dude, them Nigerians ain't gonna vote for you, man. If you're not putting money in their pocket, like just the way that they are right now at that moment." Africa is kind of like New York City in the 1800s. It's run by boss tweeds. There's no difference between a lot of these Nigerian leaders and boss tweed. That's the mentality they have. Like, if you want to know the way politics is in Nigeria, watch Gangs of New York. That's Nigerian politics for you. Gangs of New York with an African accent. So just imagine, Leonardo DiCaprio saying, "My guy, if you don't vote for the British, it's the Irish, you are dead." So just imagine, DiCaprio doing that. That's Nigerian politics for you. So I don't know. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Yeah. So, all right. So so you're not supporting anybody for president? Like I said, this election is going to be the most important election in the black race. This Nigerian election, a lot is on the line right now in Nigeria with this election.
When you say a lot is on the line, what do you mean?
I mean, dude, just the potential of Nigeria. Like, I'll give you for one. Here we go. Let's have this conversation. The day that night, right now, because of what's going on in Russia as far as oil and energy, right? Russia's saying, look, if you're on this certain list of countries, you got to use the ruble to buy our oil or consume our energy. You got to use the ruble, right? What if Nigeria said, if you want to buy our gas, oil, you need to use the naira in order to buy it?
That would be profound. But again, keep in mind, no Nigerian leader will ever say that. Look, there was a report when WikiLeaks first came out. They said that the U.S. embassy told one Nigerian politician, like, "Dude, we know what happens in your country before you do." You get what I'm saying? Like, look, Atiku. Look, man. Like I said, I don't always like to go too deep on the show, but Atiku is wanted. I don't know if the warrant is still there, but he's wanted because of the whole Halliburton stuff.
No. I think so. Atiku came to America.
He came to America. Who's the Illuminati that made the phone call?
I think he was pardoned though. They let him go. He was pardoned, I think.
No, he wasn't pardoned. They gave him like 24 hours to come into the country where they wouldn't arrest him. Now, I don't know if they've pardoned him since then, but at that time when him and Buhari were going against each other for the election, he came into the United States and got a 24-hour pardon to speak with whoever the Illuminati boss is, and they was like, "Okay, cool." And then he got back on the plane and left. Who made that phone call? Like, who's that powerful that you could call? Like, "Yo, listen, I got a warrant. Dynas, you got a warrant. All right, cool. I'm gonna call my mans, and you be good for 24 hours. You can walk through Atlanta. They ain't gonna touch you."
You
And
got a point though.
you get what I'm saying? Like who is that powerful that you can make the phone call to? So now at the end of the day, you know, that'd be great. You think any African leader would go and say that? They wouldn't say that. Look, the last African leader we had that, and again, I'm not a fan of any African leader of the state. But Abacha was trying, and that people hate him. They say he stole money. He did this,
Yeah,
even though that's the yeah. Go ahead.
but I've heard like mixed reviews on Hibachi. Like, tell me what was good that he did? Because I know College Genesis loves Hibachi.
I wouldn't say I love Abacha, but I would say that Abacha never left the country. Did he steal money? Possibly, but when you start really doing the research into it, it's up in the air, man. Like that money is not documented, and I like I said, I can send you the documents. The what they claim was taken, it just doesn't add up. Which is why when they so-called try to retrieve the money, they were like not giving the money back, not because they didn't want to give it back, but because there was no money to give back. Now, he did take some money because there's a governor in one of the northern states who was like one of his boys who's in power now, and his son, they took some money. But what African leader hasn't taken money? But Abacha was like, yo, we're not going to take any loans from the IMF. And, he was trying to do some things. And you had to do like Wole Soyinka, who was actually planning a coup. How is it that you're the Nobel Prize winner for literature, but you got enough connects to plan a coup?
I didn't know that. Well,
yeah.
Wole was arrested though, right? Or
yeah, of course he was arrested, but you write books. Cool, get arrested. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell what club are you in that you can plan coups? Like, this is how deep this stuff goes with Africa. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, African people are willfully and woefully naive as to the power games that are being played, as compared to like a Putin on the world stage, or like or the Chinese leader, the Chinese premier, who's like, yo, we're gonna swing our cojones. The African leaders aren't ready to swing their cojones. They're still making compromises, because then they have to be held accountable. Like Putin, no matter what anybody says about Putin, right? He's still to a certain degree held accountable by the Russian people. If Russia is not working for the Russian people, they're not going to keep him in power that long. You understand what I'm saying? But he's been in power that long because he serves and is of service to his people. Same thing with the Chinese premier. No African leader. I mean, fella had that song, MOP, right? Where he said, all African leaders got to walk around with all this security because, you need the police for soldier fight, the Navy for this, and for water fight. Why? Because these guys, these African leaders, they can't walk the streets. The last African leader that we had that could walk the streets was he's the guy on the 29 on the note. Damn. Christ, what's his name? They murdered him. Murtala Muhammad. And of course he had, he has baggage with
my Igbo homies hate Murtala.
No, I was gonna say he had his issues with the Biafra War. He did some messed up things, the Biafra War. But after the Biafra War, Murtala was like really trying to, do the right thing, and they killed him. He was trying to go against that northern conglomerate, and they're like, nah, we gotta get you out of here, bro. You crazy? You know what I'm saying? But he was walking the streets. He walked the streets with the people, and they murdered him. No African leader can walk the streets that he's held accountable to the people. I mean, you got Tinubu saying he's a youth. Tinubu's like 80-something years old. He says he's a youth. This is what we're dealing with. And Africans are expecting what? You know what I'm saying? So whoever gets in there, of course, we'll vote. We'll let the dust settle. We'll see who the candidates are. But I don't think anything's going to change from the candidates because they're not ready. Look, I'm going to say this, and I'll let you get. In order to really develop Africa to a certain degree, to develop Nigeria, to a certain level, we may look like North Korea and Cuba in terms of the public relations, in terms of the optics. The West will no longer like us. Right, because then we'll say, like, if you're in charge of Nigeria, if I'm the president, you're the vice president, I'm going to tell them, yo, no LGBT, nothing. I don't have anything against them. We're not going to kill them, but no, that's not our culture. That's not happening in our country. Until you can tell that to Saudi Arabia, get out my face. I'm going to do business with Cuba. I'm going to bring in Cuban doctors to vaccinate my people to make sure they don't have polio, measles, and mumps. I'm gonna do business with Cuba. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get these people in. We're gonna start building our own nuclear power to protect ourselves. We're gonna build rails. We're gonna have the ports are gonna be open. We're gonna have federal highways. We're gonna have more state autonomy, so the state governors can have a state police force. You're gonna raise taxes, so you pay your state. You think the West right away in an hour they'll put me on CNN, gas them up, dictator raping Nigerian women, get them out of there. That's what they'll put. You know what I'm saying? They'll say Dynast attacking African women. They'll put it on CNN. We have to bomb Nigeria to save it from Dynast and gas them up. That's what they'll put. You know what I'm saying? And the Nigerians will go along with it. Like, Nigerians don't want to face that. If you want your country to work, you're gonna have to be prepared that the very people that smile with you from the West in America and London, you got to be ready to say F them. And I don't think Africans are ready for that. They still want, white people to love them.
But didn't Abachi have Abiola assassinated? Like, what's the real story behind that? Because didn't he win the election but was assassinated?
This shit gets deep, man. You starting to talk about the ITTs. You're talking about the IMF. Because remember, Abiola was friends with all these dudes. Abiola was friends and buddies with all these military cats. They were all cool. And then, he wins the election. And Abacha and them was like, nah, we're not going for that. And they get him out of there. His wife, may she rest in peace, Kudira. So this stuff gets deep, and it's just like, again, none of these guys at the top, their hands are clean. None of their hands are clean. Because realistically, Abiola was down with ITT raping Nigeria. Do you really think if he had run Nigeria, he would have done the right thing for Nigeria? I know we like to say those things, but they wouldn't have done the right thing by none of them would, because they all serve the West. Like, I don't know, does that make sense to you? Like, if you ran Nigeria to a certain degree from the optics, the way CNN would report on you, they would paint you like North Korea because you might not go along with the agenda. And they would say you're a bad guy. Do you think the average Nigerian that you come across is ready to be painted in a bad light by CNN?
No. You got a point, because the average Russian could care less, the average Chinese could care less, the average North Korean could care less, but the average African the average Nigerian. Well, you know what? I disagree. The average Nigerian over here in America will have a problem with it. Over there, I don't think they would.
Of course, but keep in mind, Dynast, look, man, you know how many Nigerians in the UK and America sell us out in a heartbeat, that are actively working with the governments in this country to undermine African. Like I said, if I go to Nigeria now, first thing I'm doing, all right, you know what? All the oil companies, you're out of there. If you're not willing to pay us a fair share, you're out. You know what I'm saying? If you're not willing to do that, oh, by the way, your military bases, get out. We don't need you. Your embassies, you play any funny games, we don't need you. Oh, and your little NGOs that are really CIA agents, get out. We don't need you. You think the Nigerians would be, gas them up. This white woman is so nice. She's not a CIA agent. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what Nigerians would be the same ones. They're like, come on, man. Like, it's hard to deal with them.
Okay. Mr. Sandman, go ahead.
Yes, how you doing? Yeah, I was listening to some of your stuff, and I don't know a whole lot about, the African continent, but some of the things I was thinking about in regards to political influence in Africa, particularly when it's pertaining to the country of Nigeria, is my understanding is people or things are more powerful when they're in a union, or when they're in a group. That saying is you're stronger together than you are apart. So the thing is, with the African continent, particularly when you're talking about Nigeria and other countries in that in the continent, if they can't unify either with other countries in the continent, or either unify with NATO or any other organized nation, it's going to be hard for them to have the international influence that will help propel them politically and economically. In my opinion, I mean, it's real simple. I could be the smartest or the strongest person in the world, but if I'm going against a gang of men who may be sheep, but they work together, they're going to be able to overtake me and take more resources. So I was just wondering, what do you think Nigeria should do long term in regards to particularly with their upcoming presidency? What do you think they should do when it comes to unifying with other countries, whether it be the United States, the West, as you all like to call it, European countries, or other countries in the continent of Africa?
I mean, I think before they unify with anybody else, Nigerians have to unify with themselves. See, Nigeria, look, a lot of people in America, like, in the diaspora, they don't understand, like, Nigeria in many instances is just a name, right? Because you read the chats on Dynast show, right? Dynast, every 5 seconds, you got these southern Nigerians, the Fulanis, the Hausa, they talking stuff about fellow Nigerians. And it's not like every Fulani and Hausa person is sitting down there in Banana Island eating, drinking juice and eating, drinking juice and eating chicken. No, that's not the case. So Nigerians themselves are not even unified. I don't know, man. It's going to take the Nigerian project to really do a restructuring and ask themselves, do we want to be Nigerian first? Are we going to adhere to being Nigerian? What does Nigerian even, what does that mean, being Nigerian? What are the protocols for that? What culture are we going to use to be Nigerian? You get what I'm saying? Like, Nigeria is really like is deep, brother Sam, man. It's not just like in America where everyone's just black. Like, yo, we just black. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you okay? There's a little tribalism now. East Coast dudes don't like West Coast dudes, or down South dudes don't like East Coast dudes. Everybody hates New Yorkers. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like, everybody's black. But in Nigeria, that two Nigerians are Benin man first before he'll be a Nigerian. You get what I'm saying? And so I don't know, man. The Nigerian project has to do evaluation and make Nigeria really function for Nigeria. And they got to talk about that. No one wants to talk. They're doing a lot of ethno nonsense. Like, just read the chat. They look at the crap they say about me. You know what I'm saying? Isoko boy, this and that. And it's like, dude, I'm not out here talking about the Fulanis. I have no beef with the Fulanis or the Hausa. If the Fulanis are there, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, from the outside looking in, it looks like Nigeria is attempting to mimic some of the culture American politics. So in America, the saying is, you want to have several different parties, several different ideas, and they all come together.
Go ahead, Tunaja. Unmute yourself. Tunaja.
Hi, yeah. I thank you for having me. I'm glad I've heard the way Gas them up, were describing some of the things in Nigeria. Personally, the way I see the country is that there are people there that are not doing what they are supposed to be doing, while there are others that are pulling and trying to get the country on its feet. Many Nigerians are under the impression that they always misdiagnose the problem. I don't know why. Maybe it's just conditioning and brainwashing on the ground, because they always assume that, the problem is, because the politicians are corrupt, or because we are tribal and stuff like that. Even when they look at the way we elect people, it doesn't say we are that tribal. We elect people from different regions in that country. Different people end up in power. Some people assume that it's only northerners that are ending up in power, even when the current defense secretary is from Delta State. I don't know. You see, Nigerians, there are certain things that in their head, they've got it in their head that that's how it is. But while in reality, it's somewhat different. That gap needs to be addressed when you're talking to Nigerians. And it tells you the power of the media. The media gives people the impression and it becomes real, even when clearly in their own eyes you can see it's not true. That is playing a role. And for me, as somebody that watches security and structures of countries, what bothers me to an extent is that I feel like our leaders, we have very smart men in that country, very, very smart men, professors, all of them, especially some of them in universities. But somehow, when it comes to fixing the country, they can't seem to get their acts together. It doesn't make sense. Do you know that the amount Nigerians spend watching movies alone can fund their whole military? The amount they spend partying alone can fund their healthcare. But yet, when you tell them, I asked somebody yesterday, I said, how much are you willing to pay for your security? One guy was abusing me yesterday, say, you are asking poor Nigerians to pay anything for security. Have we not suffered enough? I said, but you're already spending the money. It's like, I'm not asking you to spend any new money. You're already spending the money on iron bars on your doors, on your windows, the gates, estate levies. You are already spending it and you are still not getting security. They ask you, how much are you willing to pay for security for your country? They don't want to pay a penny because they will always say they are suffering. They don't want to pay. So it tells you that the mentality is that the government should do everything for them.
But to Niger, keep in mind though, in America, I don't know about the UK or other parts of Europe, but in America, nobody wants to pay taxes either. You know, Texas, Florida, Floridians, they don't want to pay taxes, right? You have to have it structured in the system. That's why the IRS removes the taxes from the income right before you even touch your money. The IRS gets it, so it has to be structured. Look, I'll give you a working example. Does the Nigerian government even have the cloud? Right, the cloud space, the ability to store documentation in the cloud for a proper tax-based system? I'm talking about the way it's taken, right? Like when everybody has their income paid. Many Nigerians still get their income paid in cash and stuff like that. So how are you gonna? Because in America, you know, you get paid. Yeah, you have some off the books things that are off the books, but a lot of times, you know, you get your check and you look at your check and Dinus, right? You look at the check, you say, God damn, you know, Social Security, you shake your head just like Dynasty. You say, God damn, they're killing me again. You know what I'm saying? So you know, but Nigeria has to have that. But they don't even have the cloud software, the computing process to do this.
Hold on. Is Dinus shaking his head? Hold on. Dinus, you're shaking your head. No. They are taking money from you. That money is the reason why America is so comfortable. Without taxes, there is no civilization. You see what I mean? And the problem is that people frown on tax. They forget that
no. It's not that. To Niger, the problem is we're overly taxed, and if we don't, I guess, pay our taxes when being overly taxed, the repercussions are severe.
Would you rather your road are not overly tiled? Hold on. Would you rather your road are not overly tarred, your bridges are not overly serviced, your healthcare is not overly done? See, there are things you have to put money together.
You don't have free healthcare.
Yeah, but Niger, he's right, because Niger, America's infrastructure is crumbling even with the overtaxation.
Okay. And that's not good. Clearly, I think Europeans know how to do that. Nigerians can take money. Let me just add this point quickly. Nigerian government already has a way of taking money from people's accounts, even without their direct consent, if they want to take the money. And this is another aspect that tells you that why are they not demanding the people pay to take care of all the security problems so that people can be able to travel to Nigeria, feel secure in their own country? But it tells you, this is what frustrates me, that why is our leaders not doing this when they have the power to do it? It stumps me. It really stumps me.
But Niger, I told you again, Atiku came into America with a warrant by the federal government and was allowed in the country for 24 hours or 72 hours. Which Illuminati boss did he call to make that deal happen? And you think that Nigerian leaders are accountable to you? You think Nigerian leaders are accountable to Nigerians? What Nigerian leader will hold themselves accountable to Nigerians? When the lockdown first happened with COVID, I think one girl or one of his babes or whatever leaked. Diners, I don't know if you ever got this. There was a leaked conversation with Tinubu, right? And like some girl he probably was sleeping with, and they were like asking him like, "Yo, you know." And mind you, he ran off to the UK somewhere. He ran off to, and they were like, "Yo, don't you feel bad for the people? You know, we're starving, we're hungry. This. He's in London. He don't care. He's not gonna feel the pains. Now, when COVID happened, it's not even said. Do you guys know that Cuba has five vaccines that they created on their own? 5 vaccines. Russia has the Sinovac. I mean, not the Sinovac. They have like 2 or 3. What did Nigeria do? Not like we don't have Nigerian scientists that are capable of creating their own vaccine. And then when they gave us the vaccine, they were on the verge of being expired in like 2 months. You think these African leaders are accountable to you and I and Dinus, the citizens of those countries?
So then it's not only the African leaders now, because it's also the intelligentsia, the ones that are intelligent enough, like the university lecturers, all of them, they are in cahoots because they are currently on strike. The students return to school after Christmas. Within a month, they are gone on strike, and they are still on strike. How can intelligent people, professors, not understand the damage they are doing to the future generation? They keep doing these things. It's not the first time, and they're repeating it over and over again. And you know what? This is why sometimes when people call for a total revolution, sometimes you begin to see the reasons why. Because this is madness. How is it that this type of stuff keeps going on? To be fair, alongside a lot of people doing good work, there's a lot of development that I see on the continent, in Nigeria, to not to mention the continent. There's a lot of development, this in good work you see from some law enforcement agencies, customs, even police officers, the people that track drugs in Nigeria. They are very good at doing their job. There are people that are doing their job. Even, okay, look at the Boko Haram threat has actually gone down in the northeast, but it went to the northwest. And what I always say is that because Nigerian soldiers are stretched, how can you expect one Nigerian soldier to defend 1,000 citizens? It's too much. We keep expecting.
Well, it's not just the soldiers. For keep in mind, and Brother Sam, and I know you want to say something, so I'm gonna shut. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shut up. Yeah, Brother Sam, I know you want to say something.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about that topic that y'all was bringing up about the taxation of people that live in Nigeria, and one of the checks and balances that they do here in America. Not to be sweating the way the white man, conducts business, but they have a thing where if you spend or you purchase anything that's over a certain amount, it has to be reported to the Internal Revenue Service. So that's the way that they, force people to work legally, because if you want to purchase a home, purchase a car, and you attempt to do so without proof of employment or proof of paying your taxes, they'll audit you. And
Hey,
of
Mr.
course,
Samuel,
you could be.
do you know the amounts, like with vehicles? How much does the vehicle have to be before there? Because I heard of that. Like, how
Yes,
much does the vehicle have?
$10,000. Anything over $10,000.
Yeah, anything over 10,000.
It needs to be
That's
reported
crazy.
to the IRS. That's how a lot of these
Even when you withdraw money from the bank, you can't withdraw over 10,000. If you try to be slick and take 9,999,
yeah,
they'll say that you're layering.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they'll audit you.
Yeah, and even that Congress lady, not a Congress lady or Senator Nancy Pelosi, was suggesting that anything that during the pandemic time, when a lot of people were working under the tables and people weren't working, they were saying, well, if you wire somebody more than $500, then the federal government can also do an investigation as far as that. So that's the way that here in the United States, they force people to work legally. Even a lot of people that do illegal stuff like drug dealers, organized crime people, for instance, Scarface, Al Capone, he was arrested and put in jail for life for tax evasion, not for the multiple homicides and illegal factions that he was doing. So I think that's something that maybe could be adapted in Nigeria, but ultimately, because you already have an example whatever the country's done, maybe that's something that Nigeria could do to force people to work legally. Therefore, the money that they do spend to purchase things can be taxed, and that could be utilized for uh, public service.
No, you're 100% right. The problem is that you got to have the political cojones to push that effort through. And keep in mind, the very people who would have to do that themselves won't want to pay the tax. No Nigerian leader would want, what their disposable ink. They don't want that. No Nigerian leader would, and whether it's a man or a woman, because I'm tired of this narrative that if we put women in power, they're going to be less evil. Look, Margaret Thatcher was a criminal. Queen Victoria and Queen Isabella were the biggest colonizers, and they had coochies. So this idea that it's only males that are colonizers and criminals is silly, But the Nigerian political class, they're not ready to do that. They could easily do that. And like what Tunaj is saying about the military being stretched in, that's why you have state police force. That's why you have sheriff departments in the United States. You have city police, you have different municipalities, you have sheriff departments. That could easily be incorporated in Nigeria. I wouldn't want that as a person who's I'm not a fan of the state, but hey, if we got to live in it, let's live in it and let's make it work. The Nigerian political class is not ready for that. But Dinas, I wanted to touch on what you said. You talked about gold. I wanted to push back on you to say that, I'm not telling anyone not to buy gold, but historically,
I'm crypto. I'm Bitcoin now.
Because you said crypto, but remember, what did the Canadian government do to those truckers who were trying to get their cryptocurrency?
Okay, so there's ways around that though. There's ways around that. But yeah, they tried to block the exchanges or blacklist their addresses, but there's ways around that.
What is this thing that they are saying that they are blocking Nigerians from buying properties in Canada too?
Yeah, so for 2 years if you're a foreigner, but see it's kind of gray. If you're an investor, you can't buy property, but if you're a foreigner in Canada and you're a student, you're a worker, or it was something else, you're fine. I think it's just more for investors. If you're an investor, you can't.
I see. You see, about the police, even the police is under this thing funded and undermanned in Nigeria. I think the Nigerian problem is very simple. And this is what gives me trust issues. Because if you look at it on paper, it's very easy to fix. You can see all the errors that they are making. You can just restructure the state and put enough police officers on the street, put enough military in the system, and you find that the system will just buck up. North African countries, remember, there was a time Egypt used to have a lot of terrorist issues. There was a time Algeria used to have a lot of it. What they had to do was set their military up to a standard level of international standards. And today, you don't hear about those things in those countries anymore. The reasons why terrorists fill spaces is because they move to the weakest spots. It's very simple. Africa right now, especially Black Africa right now, is the weakest spots. And they will keep moving. And I think if Nigeria sorted out its security problem tomorrow, guess what's going to happen? It's going to shift to Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana. Ghana that has 15,000 soldiers, they will find out that they will need to upgrade theirs sooner or later. Question I keep asking is that why are they not seeing this? Because if you look at the statistics, it's showing that one Nigerian soldier has to defend 1,000 citizens. That is too much for one person to do.
So, Nigel, which Nigerian leader do you feel has the ability to do what you're saying, or had the ability to do what you're saying, that was not given the opportunity?
All of them have the opportunity, but they refuse to do it. You know what they keep opting for? Let's get more tools. Let's get more guns. As if America even has higher number of soldiers per citizens than them. And America is the most advanced country in the world. America has more soldiers per citizen than Nigeria. And yet they are the most advanced. Nigerians keep talking, buy new guns, buy new planes, as if that's going to solve the problem. You need people. Those bandits, they are not flying in the air. They don't exactly have F-16. They are just riding on bikes and buses, and we can't take care of them, and we use them to paralyze the Nigerian economy. It's crazy. And to me, that part is the most damaging part. You can't even allow people to come and do proper business in the country. A country where people are very innovative and vibrant for business. And you don't even need to waste money. The money you spend on the military, you get it back in form of business and employment and growth.
But now, tonight,
yeah, I was going to make a comment about the military thing. The thing with the United States in regards to their military is they spend more on their military than like the top 3 countries or even 4 or 5 countries combined. And the reason for that is because, you know, on an annual basis, trillions and trillions of dollars of product get shipped across our seas, not just across the sea, but in the air from country to country. Now, if that wasn't regulated or if that wasn't secure, those shipment lines, then they could be pirated. Trillions and trillions of dollars worth of product could be pirated by, you know, criminals who wanted to steal product that was coming from China or coming from Germany going to America and vice versa. What makes America so powerful, and I believe, is the military can secure that for the world. It can secure that international trading international trading organization with their military. You can't just...
No, 100%. I did a paper on this when I was in college. I agree with you. The 3 things that really back up the U.S. In order is actually the Navy, like you said, securing those trade zones, because people don't even understand the most powerful the most powerful states have all been naval states. Right. And America's Navy is the most powerful, most sophisticated in the world. And it actually secures and ensures that the flow of goods always comes to the United States. Then the military, then on top of the Navy and the military, what happens next is the American taxpayer. So like Dinas was saying, we're actually overtaxed and the tax is actually abusive because most of our taxpayer money is going towards projects that we don't even have a say in. Right, that we don't even have a control over, which is ridiculous, right? That needs to actually be overhauled. So it's the Navy, the military, and then the taxpayer, and now you have the so-called ease of doing business across the United States. But I agree with brother Sandman. It's definitely the Navy's ability to make sure that the flow of goods goes to the United States.
But if I was a European, I would think America is working very well for me. If I was a European, I would think Europe is working very well for me. No matter how you like to think that, okay, they are using the money for this. But most of them are well off. Most of the people that have got this money, they are doing very well. If you look at their families, their household incomes, they are doing very well for themselves. You see, it's us that are suffering from all this nonsense. And why we keep putting up with it, I don't get it. Even look at power supply. Let's take power supply for an example. Do you know how much it takes to get a mobile plant that can give power to 160,000 homes in Nigeria? About $11 million. That's what it will cost for that. And Nigeria generates, in terms of GDP, $500 billion every year. We could easily, if we wanted to buy just mobile plants to solve our problems, we can do it. But for some reason, if you tell people that if you keep waiting for this crazy government to do it, they're not going to do it, you need to focus, because Nigerians have to start owning it. I think this is the problem. You keep expecting corrupt politicians to fight for you. They won't. Fight for yourself. Say, okay, we are going to put the money in now, and we need this thing bought. And if these things are not bought, God help that person that eats our money.
Yeah, but to Niger, what you're describing again is what was robbed from us as Africans during colonization. Because in African societies before colonization, before a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you gotta have to get deep, but I'm gonna just keep it surface level. The African leaders were held accountable to the people, and most of the projects were as a result of what the people wanted. So, for example, the largest man-made, if I'm not mistaken, effort outside of the Great Wall of China is actually in Benin, right, Dinas? I don't know if you knew that. The moats. People don't know that ancient Edo.
The largest man-made wall was.
Yeah, it's there. A lot of people don't know that. That's a state project. You get what I'm saying? That's a state project that was community-based, community-raised, done locally. So you would have to create stronger state governments in Nigeria. This is where I can agree with people saying that there's a northern, cabal or mafia or Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, that's preventing that. But my beef with Southerners is, if you're South, especially if you're in the chat, why is it that you people from the South, myself included, you say the Igbos are good at business, everybody else gets an education, blah, 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 but then these other people in the so-called North are backward, but these same backward people run everything, prevent your ports from being opened, right? Tunaji, you've never confronted this, but I'm asking you live on air. Is it a fact, or tell me if I'm wrong? And Awusa Fulani man, I'm not being, ethno anything, and Alaji can go to southern Nigeria and sleep with our women like nothing. If you have billions, you cannot go to the north and sleep with their girls anyhow. It will cause a beef. So we South people, especially we South men, what are we even doing with our women? Our women are open for any Alaji to sleep with. You understand? Our roads, I'm just being real. When are we South going to wake up and stop saying, oh, the North is taking this? Are we going to stand up and work together the same way they're doing it?
To be fair, that's a cultural thing. That has nothing to do with
And no, don't dodge it on culture, please. I just want you to say, am I lying or am I lying?
What do you mean you are lying?
No, I'm asking you, is it
that I cannot go to the North and sleep with another woman? Yes, I can.
Yes, I mean, women are the most precious resource to any nation or any community, because they produce the offspring that keep the society running. So if you're not taking care of those people and making sure they're in good working order, eventually your country is going to fall apart.
And Mr. Sandman, that's what I'm trying to tell to Niger. But a lot of times, and I'm not dissing you to Niger, but Southern Nigerians don't want to face that, right? The Southern Nigerian woman, because two Nigerians say, oh, I can't go to North. Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't. I'm saying that, for example, right? If you are a big man from the South, do you have access to those Northern women? No, they keep their women. And I'm not saying that all their women, blah, 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 don't do anything. I'm saying compared to Southern girls, a Muslim man in the north part of Nigeria will quickly marry his daughter to an Arab before he will marry to a big man from the south, unless you convert to Islam. And even if you do, you'll be treated as a second-class Muslim. You'll be a B-Rab, as my friends like to say. You won't be an Arab, you'll be a B-Rab. You understand? So tonight, I'm just asking you are from the south. Let's be real. Are women not available? Forget the cultural point. Or am I making it up?
To Naja, you there?
I guess he's having, I don't know, I guess he's having technical difficulties. But, I'm just saying, Dennis, that's something that, that the Nigerians in the South love to talk this stuff about Northern Nigerians. And it's like, yo, our girls is out there, doing all kind of stuff. Our ports is messed up. They don't open the ports, and then we complaining. Like, I'll give you a perfect example, Dennis, with the NSARS, right? And it's just my opinion. Remember when NSARS was happening, they were protesting and all that stuff?
Yes, right.
Okay, cool. Most of the boys who are being killed, the quote-unquote Yahoo boys, are Southern boys. They're the boys from Lagos, Port Harcourt, that the police are killing like animals, right? But if you go to the northern part of Nigeria, Dennis, and the police try anything and kill their youths, they burn the police station down. They don't sit down there and protest and SARS and go on CNN and cry.
That's not true. I know. I'm noticing, like, in the north, certain states that practice Sharia law, like them boys are getting killed and thrown in prison for life, and they're not doing nothing.
No, that's the politics of the North with Islam, right? And that's another conversation. I could get deep into it about what deen are they following, right? A lot of them are following hadith. They're not actually following the Quran itself as given to us by the Prophet, peace be upon him, but I don't want to get into that. It's touchy. I don't want to offend any Muslims or anybody, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm just saying a northern boy typically is not killed by SARS. The police in the north are not killing the youths. But in the South, the police will kill the youth like nothing, like no problem, and they'll just march or go on CNN and cry to White Daddy. But in the North, they'll burn down the police station. Like, nah, you ain't doing that. We'll burn it down. So I don't understand. It's like, all we know how to do is read books and go and get an education and get a college degree and have a PhD and have a white chick in a condo in Miami. You know what I'm saying? May the do rest in peace. But we when it comes time to actually engage within the mechanisms of power, we're nowhere to be found.
Yes, I mean, it's a huge issue culturally. It has to be ironed out and taken seriously. The culture that has to be number one. I mean, money or currency is just an idea, but the people in and of itself, that's what makes the society run. I mean, the dollar in and of itself, it's a subsidiary of the bartering system. Before the dollar was made, humans just traded, goods for goods. Instead of trading goods, because that wasn't a system that could be sustained, they started making promissory notes. So in other words, it was just a bank said, I would, write you a letter stating that you own this amount of precious metals, golds, diamonds, or what have you in my bank, and I'll write you a promissory note that you can hand off to the next person, at which point I will exchange that promissory note to the next person. So the money in and of itself is not the most important thing. It's just an idea. The culture of how you take care of people and how you utilize money to build your community is the most important thing, or build your nation is the most important thing. And having alliances is important too. So I'm hoping that the powers that be, whether it be Europe or the West, that's making it impossible or hard for countries in the continent of Africa to unify, will that barrier will be broken so that y'all can trade goods, or black people in general, because I'm black too. You know what I mean? Black people in general can trade goods and develop our own system of trade.
No, I agree with you, Mr. Sandman, but let's be real. This man over here has been given the African, stolen to the Americas hell for the last 400 years. He ain't got, he hasn't gotten off the back of African Americans, So do you really think he's going to give the African a break?
Who are you talking about? To Niger?
No, I'm talking about, you just said you're hoping that the powers that be in Europe and America would give, would somehow ease up or let up from their, diabolical maneuverings that they're doing to keep the continent, twisted in nonsense. But they haven't even done, every other week we got to watch on TV some sheriff or some cop, pull a gun out and do something to a black man or do some nonsense to us in the bank. You know what I'm saying? Or have us looking foolish in the media. You think that they would,
it's not a game of checkers. It's definitely a game of chess. Got to play the long game. Yeah. Got to set it up. Yeah. Got to set it up real smooth and maneuver around things. You can't just show your hand, because they'll flank you and backdoor you with something slick. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they're really smart people, or thinking of every possibility of you uprising and taking them out of power. So you gotta just think, what I'm saying, come up with a plan.
I want to ask the panel a question though, Dynasty, and I know you say you down with crypto, because Brother Sandman just said a narrative that and I'm not coming at you, Brother Sandman, but I based on what I've read, you can check out this book by Graeber. It's called Debt, the First 5,000 Years. He actually passed away. I forgot his first name, but Graeber. It's called Debt, the First 5,000 Years. You could Google it. Very good book. And in it, he actually looked at the history of this thing, because in economics, right, that was my my undergrad. We're taught that trade by barter started first, And then, of course, the narrative, the banks would get these, they would deposit the gold or the iron, and they would give you these slips. And then, that's when they started this fractional banking, where they may not have had enough of the deposits in play and whatnot. But he actually shows, and whether you agree with him or not, that's up for debate, where he says that that narrative is actually false, that anthropologists have never seen that type of trade by barter analysis because it makes the assumption of spot trades, right? And if you look at like West Africa, for example, West Africans didn't trade with gold, but
Right.
yet you had Mali, you had Benin, you had some of the largest quote unquote empires that didn't have a so-called gold standard. So it kind of confuses me. And again, I'm not saying anyone shouldn't buy gold, whatever, get your gold. I'm not against that. But it kind of confuses me when everyone keeps saying this stuff that it's not backed by real money, it's not backed by gold, when it's like gold isn't real money either.
No. I think there's some logic there. I don't understand why people. I think money is just based on trust. Really, it has nothing to do with whether it's gold or not. If American government now that is using the fiat currency, they basically say, you know what, let's remove the band-aid and just stop the pretense as if the gold meant anything. The gold is in a dungeon somewhere. What are you going to do with that gold? Buy it and take it out from there and sell it to aliens? What are you going to do with it? You can't eat it. So the point is that these things are based on trust. And the American government said, you know what, we don't care about the gold anymore. Just believe us. We guarantee the value of this money when you have the cash, the paper in your hands. Now, it's not even the paper, it's just the digits in your hand. This is why these people can just go around giving themselves $20 trillion worth of loan, and some people don't get anything. It tells you that it doesn't have anything to do with the actual value that they pegged the money to. It's just, they can make it up. This is what
they're doing. They're just making it up.
Let me give you a clear example. The UK, since the financial crisis, the UK has been under austerity measure. The government is trying to save about 20 billion every year, or 5 billion or 10 trillion. They put people through hell for the last 12 years now. Then the coronavirus came. The first year, they borrowed 300 billion. They said there was no money. Suddenly there was money. You see, the whole thing, why did you put people through that hell for 10 years to save pennies, only to come and prove that you can actually get 300 billion?
Well, it's a game, like I wrote a post a while ago where I was saying that when you think about it, Dynas, right? Like they say the central banks, right? The Federal Reserve banks, what they're doing is they lend money to the commercial banks, and the commercial banks are supposed to lend money to businesses. But for the most part, as black people in America don't have access to that capital, whether it's from the banks or from the VC networks and all that other stuff. So I used to say to myself, well, I find it interesting that if government decree can allow the Federal Reserve to give the central banks, can give the commercial banks money, why can't the Federal Reserve write that same? Because think about it, Dynas, during the Depression, they gave these banks trillions of dollars that the banks just kept. They didn't even let it circulate in the economy. Don't you think even if they took a quarter of that money and gave it to the American public, it would have circulated goods around the economy better? Because that's what Keynes was advocating, right? The economist Maynard Keynes, and it's just weird how like they'll keep the money with the banks. Like tonight just said, is like, we just keep these trillions of dollars amongst ourselves, and they won't even give it to the people who actually will spend it, and the banks will just sit on it and do nothing with it.
Yes, I heard speculation of that, of something similar to that. Only logical reason that I can think why they wouldn't circulate that money is, that money would have to be backed by some sort of collateral. So, what is that new hot, item that the American public is going to purchase that could, the $1 trillion could be backed by its collateral? So
it's backed by the American taxpayer already. That's how the American government can float the bonds.
Okay, so if I purchase a home, right, my home is collateral, right? Because I have a mortgage. If I default on the mortgage, then the bank will take the home and sell it to get reimbursed for their investment, right? And they'll, make money off of the interest if you're considered, a person with good credit standing. Or if I purchase a car, for instance, right? If I default on the loan on the vehicle that I'm purchasing, then the bank will repossess that and use that as collateral. So that's what I mean. Like, okay, so the banks have, the right to lend out, $1 trillion or however much money to the public, but it has to be backed by some type of collateral.
No, I'm saying the Federal Reserve should bypass the banks. Because the banks, because like in the chat, they're saying, what about inflation? Well, think about it. It's a silly argument. If I gave the banks trillions of dollars that they're supposed to circulate in the economy, right, and I kept interest rates low, right, so that's M1 and M2, and I flooded the market with money, right, because it all goes back to maritime law, right? So if I flooded the market with money, so you get the word currency. So if I flood the market with money and I'm giving it to the banks and they're supposed to give it to the businesses, but they're not giving it to the businesses, fine then, screw the banks. Let me give it directly to the people and the businesses.
Right. Well, see, if you just give it directly to the people with nothing to back it up, that will cause inflation. That's what those stimulus checks were causing. It was causing inflation because the money wasn't backed by any collateral. And of course, it's all about supply and demand. So,
but they could have raised interest rates. If they gave away that money, they could easily raise interest rates and curtail that inflation. Remember, the only reason why we're facing the inflation is because interest rates are at zero for the most part. They're not anywhere. So I'm just saying, whenever there's a downturn in the economy, right? If they're really interested in helping the people, not just the big business, perhaps the central banks, instead of giving the money straight to the banks, they could say, hey, we'll give to the American taxpayer. If you get what I'm saying? And so now, knowing that inflation may arise, we can now raise interest rates to combat the rise in inflation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a shaky. The free market economy is always shaky. It's not as stable as some of these communist countries like China, because their government can, control the value of their currency whenever they feel like it, and control who gets what and how much to determine the trajectory of their economy. When you got a free market economy and the people are allowed to make their own choices, you have to. I guess you have to. The saying is, plan for the worst, but hope for the best.
I think there is something else that is coming. There is these national currencies that are coming online now that people are not seeing the dangers that are attached to that. What they are doing now is that they are creating their own e-currencies. Nations are doing that, and that e-currency has a lot of power because now your currency can be pegged to what it can buy. They can give you currency now. They say this currency that you have, you can't use it to buy guns, you can't use it to buy this. They can limit what you can buy with that currency. So because it's e-currency, they can program it to do what it needs to do. So in other words, according to what someone said there in the UK, said that's basically like vouchers. That's what currencies are beginning to convert. They are beginning to convert currencies to a form of voucher now. And that is something we have to watch out for when we start hearing e-currencies. Maybe in the case of Nigeria, maybe it's important to do that. But in the case of the US, where people like their freedom, that could be a serious problem. Where you can't, if you are poor, they will say you're not allowed to use your money to go and buy beer, or you are not allowed to use to go clubbing, stuff like that. You could start seeing how they are forcing people to do, people start losing their freedoms from their money.
Well, that's why I'm kind of skeptical with all this new age technology is the way stuff, because I'm like, if that's the case, all this digital stuff, and I'm not, I have eNaira, right? I purchased it as soon as the app came out. Dynas, you got to get your eNaira ASAP. I bought some because I was just like, who knows, maybe in the future.
Hold on, I'm trying to. So how do you actually purchase the eNaira through the app?
You got to link it with your bank account. So when you get
Okay.
the app, you're gonna use your bank credentials, and once you use your bank credentials, then you can now transfer money and buy it like that.
I'm saying,
Or
but
I'm
have you?
sure on your bank app they have the e-naira section. So if you open up your bank app, they probably should have the e-naira section. I know
Hold on.
Stanbic and a couple of ones I use have it.
Right now. No, so basically, but so when you go into an actual store to use it, you just you just transfer the money like regular like transfer from bank to bank, but e-naira.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what's funny though, Dinus, that I find interesting, and that's why like I don't always personally I have no beef with Nigeria other than yes, I don't want anybody to die. Like in terms of like okay, here like Dinus, if you have Bank of America, I have Chase, or I'm in a credit union, I can't send you money unless it's through Zelle or some third party app,
Right.
which is stupid. You get what I'm saying? Like in
Hey,
Nigeria, yeah, go ahead,
so
go ahead.
don't laugh. I got in my UBA account. I have 9.5 now.
That's okay, man. It happens, bro.
I got 9.5 now.
Adjusted for inflation.
Adjusted for inflation, that's about
What can you do now? That is how we live now. What is going on with Osinbajo? Has he declared yet?
Yeah. So
Oh,
tonight, you want Osinbajo in there?
No, hell. I've had enough. The guy he's been sitting there when all this craziness has been going on. No, I'm not going to have him there. He's not done very well for in terms of infrastructure. Yeah, they've done okay with infrastructure, but man, I don't care about infrastructure. Security is number one. If you get security right, infrastructure is going to build itself. The Nigerians, you don't need to encourage them to build. You just have to tell them to do. They will do it. And these leaders of our countries, they run our countries like they don't. It's almost like they don't care. They don't care about trying to work with the people at all.
But tonight, you dodged my question earlier. I don't know if you had technical difficulties. I was asking you some questions about the North, and you disappeared.
No, sorry. I think I was dealing with some stuff here. But in terms of that, the other thing you are talking about, I think it's a little bit. You are looking at it from the where you are losing, but you are not looking at it from the side where you are winning. Because if you look at the South, most of Southerners go to the North and own a lot of businesses there. It's not always the reverse in the South. The South dominates the South. You see that? So if they come and sleep with a few women in the South, and because most of our people are not even interested in their women anyway. So what do you so
I'll speak for yourself. I'll take a northern
they
girl
are
over a
most
southern girl.
they are wearing their cover from head to toe most of the time. So what
Perfect.
is there? You don't see. But that's not exactly a nightclubbing kind of girl where that you go and pick up and hope to go home with and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but why should if we're going to see on one hand if we're African, should our girls be night clubbing kind of girls that we can just pick up and sleep with? No. And that's my beef. And I'm not calling at you personally. We South people, we don't even analyze that. What is going on with our cultures to where our girls feel that they is just okay to be loose, to just be, a runs girl and all this type of thinking. And I'm not saying okay, poverty, whatever. I'm not judging anybody. You understand? But okay, I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you an example, and I asked this question, Dinus, right? So in Nigeria, and I hate to put it out there, but not just only the South, but it's known, the rumors or whatever the stereotype is that the girls or the women from Benin are in Italy just open prostitution, right?
Well,
They're running to Italy.
there's like documentaries on that.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I just
norm.
wanted to make sure I wasn't offending anybody.
Not saying it's
Yeah.
the norm, but
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure I'm not offending anybody. And so my beef with because Edo people are ancient people. Like people don't even understand how powerful Edo is. Like people don't even understand the history of going from the Ogisos to the Edo, even though there's some stuff there, but whatever. They don't even understand what that entails. And now, okay, so the girls have been doing this stuff, going to Italy, so let me say it without being crude. After going through all of that, white man, has Benin improved? Has anything improved for Edo? No. What have they gained? Nothing. Has it improved their culture?
Well, I don't think it's to improve Edo. I think it's to improve the individual families.
Okay, so
Allegedly.
even the individual so-called families, let's be real, nothing has changed. Okay, maybe the girl went there, slept with 100 white boys, slept with the dogs, and she sent you a container with some car engines and some TVs. Like, nah, man. Like, let's be real. It's pointless. And you don't see northern girls. It hurts. It hurts as a southern person. It's shameful. And that's why I'm saying, like, they look down on us, not because they are better than us, because they look like, man, y'all women, get out of it. And I'm not saying that the women should be stoned in Sharia law, because again, I read the Quran, right? I read the Quran. The Quran says nothing about that. What they're following is hadith. That's not Islam. That's the deen they choose to follow, right? But because the Prophet, peace be upon him, was not stoning women and doing any of that stuff. But my point is that as a Southern person, to Niger, what's going on? Why are we Southerners not seeing that? Using Edo as a case. Tell me what your thoughts are.
See, there are some trends that I see in the South that are not, I don't want to encourage. The Edo one was a serious issue in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was really strong. And I think that trend is beginning to ebb away now. There's a lot of negative things that's happening in Nigeria that are dying down. You see what I mean? The North, the South, the East, the West. You see, it's like America. You always have shades all over the place. The Middle Belt in America are like Bible belts. I mean, they are very, very different from the coastal distant regions. So you get these different kind of cultural behaviors. I don't think you should associate it to anything kind of like sinister or stuff like that. I don't think it's a plan. It's just what it is. The people are just what they are. For me, we just need to figure out how we are going to get a good leader, or have the people have a common agenda, because that is where our salvation lies. Because if we are not lucky enough to get a good leader, then the people need to own the space. They need to deny the leader space to set their stupid and fake agendas that never get us anywhere else. We have to take over these education and the institutions that are messing about, take over our security infrastructure. Because I believe that Nigerians, if we do something to secure ourselves, if the federal government try to come after you, you will see that the people will turn on the federal government. That is what I believe is going to happen. And I've seen that happen a few times. Like Amotek Kuna, when the Yoruba people did it. The first time the federal government was saying, oh, you don't have a right to do it. People were like, shut up. You are not securing us. Amotek is going to do the job. And the federal government backed off. That is what I think. That's what you see. You already seen example of that on the ground in Nigeria. It just need to be scaled up, especially in the north where it's really needed. The northern part of Nigeria, for some reason, they are fine. They don't seem to be that bothered. I've hardly seen any Hausa man come out heavily and protested against this insecurity. Why?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you to Niger, because I believe that the Hausa and the Fulani man is content with his Nigeria outside of insecurity, outside of an insecurity issue. And that's the fundamental difference between an Hausa man and the northern man and the southern man. Like in the chat, they'll say things like, oh, the Niger Delta should look like Dubai. Are you people crazy? So I should lose my village so it can look like Dubai? Are you people out of your mind? Do you know how diverse the ecology, the swamps and the bio life that's in the Niger Delta, so it can look like Dubai? You people are losing your freaking minds. And this is yeah, go ahead.
No, let me do this, because I got to close out. I got to take Master to swim class. He got swim class. But to Nigel, I got a question for you. Somebody asked in the chat room, because elections coming up. I like Peter Obi. I also like the current VP, Obi
Osinbajo.
Osinbajo. What are your thoughts on Sowore?
Sowore, I'm not feeling that guy. I'm not feeling Sowore. I've just, maybe I'm being unfair here. I've not really heard the guy say anything that I've not heard before that is indicating any real part. I think he's just one of those Western people. He could literally be an NGO guy that being used by the West to do whatever they need to do. I don't trust the guy. He founded an organization that even I think he was kicked out as a leader of the very organization he founded. So you have to worry about his intentions sometimes, and this is why he's not gaining traction. Um, Osinbajo, the only thing I don't like about him is that I think Nigerians need more than somebody like Osinbajo. I think he's a safe pair of hands. I don't think Nigeria needs a safe pair of hands right now. We need a leader that can kick Nigerians off the backside and get them moving. Peter Obi sounds like a reasonable individual from what I've heard about him, and he's from the southeast. Very important to be catalytic for Nigeria to have a southeastern leader. So I don't have any issues against him. But if I'm to select a leader that I believe that if his worst performance will be better than the 3 previous presidents put together, will be the Cross River State governor. But his chance of getting the position is very thin because he's from Cross River State, and he has accomplished a lot for his this state. And his state is one of the most secure. You never hear about the state on the news at all. And he's founded industries in the state. This guy is highly educated. I think they say he's a professor. If you have a professor that is able to execute in the real world, that's the best of both worlds. Most of the time when you hear professors, they're often like, inside their own head, academicians and stuff like that. But this guy actually operates in the real world. He creates industries, he founds things. And with the way he talks about the country, he sees Africa as a whole. He doesn't just see only Nigeria. He actually talks about the country from the point of view of how he's going to grow the country. He was the one that said even Nigerians had a stunted growth. Nigerians, their height, if you see every Nigerian, they should be at least 3 inches or so taller or 5. He says because of the stress and the hassle Nigerians go through, they have a stunted growth, that he's going to reverse that. He actually invented the type of rice that they were going to be using in Nigeria. He invented it himself. So that guy, that kind of person ran the country, the beauty of it is that he has actually run a state to have proof of what he can do. But yet Nigerians may never give this guy a chance, which is sad, because in the West, that would matter more because he has a record to show what he can do. But now they are talking about Osinbajo because he was vice president that literally was silent throughout his time in office. Peter Obi, they like him because he did reasonably well in his state and his southeast. The rest, to me, all the people I see are mediocre. They are quite mediocre. And none of them, if you hear the way they talk, sometimes it really fills you with sadness. These people don't see beyond their political agenda. They can't see a nation that they want to put together. They just say, oh, I'm going to help people have more money. I'm going to help you do this. As if that's what all politicians say. There is no vision. The only guy that I see that is painting a vision for Nigeria in the concept of Nigeria itself and the context of Africa is only that guy. But nobody will listen to him, I fear. But I don't know, because party in Nigerian politics is very, very a kind of godfatherism kind of politics. And this Cross River governor moved from one party to another party. So for him to win the flag, to be the flag bearer of his party, which is APC, that will be very difficult, because a lot of people will be like, we are senior to him, we are supposed to get it. You know how Nigerians are. For them to give way for him to come and become a flag bearer, that would be extremely difficult. So I feel bad for Nigeria if we don't have people of that kind of caliber running for office. It's not like he doesn't have an... What else do you want somebody to prove that they can do the job? He's a 2-term governor. He's a professor. Almost in every local government area in his state, he's founded a new industry. Some of them are manufacturing chocolate. Some of them are manufacturing palm, this thing. Some of them are manufacturing all kinds of different things he has founded in his state. He employs people. Come on, man. If you look at the record of the guy, when they were showing him on the news, I couldn't believe somebody like that existed in Nigeria. But say, we are talking about Osinbajo, Tinubu, Atiku. Who wants to vote Atiku in? When I had Atiku talk the first time, I was like, is that all we've got? But this is Nigeria that we are dealing with. I believe that the way you deal with these things, the way you deal with the politics, is not to worry about who they elect. Just control the narrative. They cannot help it. Nigerian politicians, even when the women protested recently, when they denied the women and the right to, have, to, I think, to TED in terms of House of, in terms of governance, they said there was a law that was passed that women are supposed to have to TED, but because the legislative house didn't back the women, they protested, and now the government is thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe they should backtrack. They want to give the women what they want. That's how you gain traction in Nigeria.
So wait, Niger, does that make sense though? That law? I know that has got to run the swim lesson, but I don't understand that law because I'm trying to understand. So are we saying that women are not going to, these same women, when they're empowered, they're going to be less colonizing, less European thinking? I'm not saying that the men are. I don't understand.
I don't believe in that.
I don't believe. I think this idea, it really is something. Again, it's another myth that we have to tell ourselves as Africans. I'm not saying that women can't do a job or anything, but this notion that, oh, when women are in positions of power. So what we're basically saying is that, we want, we want to remove the testicles that are exploiting us and put vaginas to exploit us. Because I'm trying to understand how women are going to exploit us less.
The true agenda is to slow the population down, the population growth. And that's the true agenda. That's why they are insisting that you should educate the women. That's why they are insisting that take the women and start doing more manly roles so that they will not have time to procreate. That is the agenda. Even Bill Gates, this wife has said it the other time, that once you educate these women, they are not going to have children, because by the time they start going through the education period, they are
now they become enlightened. Now they want to see the world. They want to experience the world. But this is what I'm saying to Niger. You don't hear northern people having these conversations. Because another woman will tell you, I'm fine. And I'm not saying that she's not exploited. I'm not saying she shouldn't be educated. What I'm saying is that these efforts are only largely pushed by mostly women from the South who go to Harvard and, they get educated in Cambridge, and then they come back to Africa and they think, oh, no, this is, they know more than their grandmothers who had women's associations. And I'm just like, what's going on here?
Those people annoy me, actually. I don't. When I hear them talking, sometimes I was like, "Come on, man! You have to know better than this. You can't just be buying everything they tell you from the West. You need to see how they parrot some of the things that come from the West. Oh, we have to empower women. Well, like women in Nigeria had Queen Amina. Nigeria had a lot of powerful women. Fela Kuti's mom was very, very powerful.
Tinubu.
Yeah. We have very, very powerful women in Nigeria. This in Babangida's wife was very powerful. There are quite a lot of powerful women. Even today, there are powerful women in Nigeria that are doing things. So you can't just say, it's because
what they're really doing, like you said, other than the population control, what the real narrative is insidious. What they're really trying to do is they're trying to find ways to create wedges between the African man and the African woman. So
that is what do you think it will result in? Broken families?
Well, of course, but that's the thing, But Dennis, I know you got to go, right? He's talking to you. All right, we'll continue this next time. All right,
do it next time. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dennis and Search for Guru. Peace.
Thanks.